Jeopardy! Made the official decision to remove Mayim Bialik from the show last year and move on with Ken Jennings as the sole host. At the time, fans heard from Mayim, who seemed disappointed to lose the job. Jeopardy! Also released a statement after that when they said they wanted to just use one host from then on. However, the producers of the popular game show are finally letting people know why they fired Mayim Bialik from the series. Last year, Mayim Bialik and Ken Jennings co-hosted Jeopardy! Mayim was the main host, but when she had to leave to shoot her sitcom, Call Me Kat, Ken Jennings was hired to replace her at that time. They then began to rotate on the show until Mayim left when the writers went on strike. Ken finished out the season, as Mayim wouldn't return as long as they were using striking writers' questions. However, that isn't the reason that Jeopardy! Let Mayim go. Instead, executive producer Michael Davis said at the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour that Ken really won the job via TV. When asked why they couldn't keep having two hosts, he said, "We've heard a lot from our television stations and other interested parties is they were looking for more consistency. They wanted a single host." As a result, Davis said they had to choose one person at Mayim Bialik or Ken Jennings moving forward. While Davis said that Mayim was a superb host, he said that Ken Jennings won the job with his work. He also previously said there was no ratings difference when it came to the two hosts, and fans watched either way. Fans learned of the change from Mayim Bialik herself. She posted that Sony informed me that I will no longer be hosting the syndicated version of Jeopardy! When it happened. However, there might not be bad blood between the two sides. Mayim might return in another capacity. Davis said at the Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour that the network is still considering using Mayim for primetime versions of Jeopardy! And other spin-offs. He said that those conversations are ongoing. However, when it comes to the syndicated show, that is now Ken Jennings' job to maintain consistency for fans and networks. Mayim Bialik was paid $4 million a year for her Jeopardy! Job, so this should also save the studio some big-time money. They only need to pay one host now, outside of a deal for the primetime and spin-offs if Mayim decides to return. Are you going to miss Mayim Bialik as the host of Jeopardy! Do you agree that it might be better to just have one host from now on for consistency? In a surprising turn of events, Jeopardy! Fans were shocked when the beloved Mayim Bialik, known for her stint as a co-host, was let go from the iconic quiz show. Mayim Bialik's departure has sparked a wide range of discussions among fans and the media, as many were left wondering why she was dismissed despite her popularity and expertise. While the show has always been shrouded in mystery when it comes to behind-the-scenes decisions, recent reports and statements from both Bialik and Jeopardy! Producers have provided some clarity on the situation. In this article, we will break down the events that led to Mayim Bialik's firing, the key factors behind the decision, and the aftermath of her departure. Who is Mayim Bialik? Before we dive into the reasons behind her firing, it's important to recognize the impact Mayim Bialik had on Jeopardy! Bialik, an accomplished actress and neuroscientist, first appeared on the show as a guest host in 2021. Her charm, intellectual prowess, and natural on-camera presence quickly won over audiences. With her impressive background, which includes playing Amy Farrah Fowler on The Big Bang Theory and a Ph.D. in neuroscience, Bialik seemed like the perfect fit for the job. In fact, she was given the role of co-host alongside Ken Jennings after the tragic passing of the legendary Alex Trebek. The dual host format seemed to be a successful experiment as both Bialik and Jennings brought their unique styles to the show. While Jennings was often seen as the more traditional choice, Bialik injected a fresh perspective, offering fans a mix of humor and intellectual gravitas. However, as with any high-profile show, Jeopardy! Is not immune to scrutiny, and when changes occur, they do not always sit well with everyone. The firing of Mayim Bialik. What happened? 1. Contract negotiations and the host position dispute. The main reason behind Mayim Bialik's firing stems from unresolved contract negotiations and disagreements about the permanent hosting position. After Jeopardy! Was left without a permanent host following Trebek's death, The show went through an extended period of guest hosts, with many fans expressing their hopes for one host to be chosen permanently. As the show's ratings fluctuated, Jeopardy! Producers were tasked with finding a host who could keep the audience engaged while respecting the legacy of Trebek. In a twist, the show chose not to immediately make a decision on a permanent host and instead kept two hosts, one for the primetime specials and another for the regular episodes. Bialik was one of the names initially in the running, but there were ongoing discussions about whether she could handle the full-time role. The central issue was the show's desire to keep a host with a more traditional, lower-profile persona to match the calm, consistent tones set by Trebek. Meanwhile, Bialik's vibrant personality, though a hit with many fans, did not align perfectly with the direction producers wanted for Jeopardy's future. 2. Scheduling conflicts and time commitments. Another reason for Bialik's departure was related to scheduling conflicts. As much as Jeopardy! Enjoyed her presence, her busy schedule as a working actress and author created problems. Bialik had a series of other professional commitments, including her work on her podcast and her acting career. This meant that her time commitment to Jeopardy! Became a point of concern. The show's producers needed a host who could commit fully to the demands of a daily syndicated game show, and Bialik's various ventures made it increasingly difficult for her to do so. This discrepancy in scheduling and availability led to tensions about her role as co-host. While Mayim Bialik was undoubtedly a great host when available, the logistical complications of her divided focus made it clear that the co-host format wasn't sustainable in the long term. 3. Fan backlash and audience expectations. While Mayim Bialik was loved by many fans for her intelligence, charm, and relatability, not all viewers were pleased with her hosting style. Some fans voiced concerns that her delivery was too scripted or stiff, while others felt that her emotional connection to the show was lacking at times. Although she had a large base of fans, the audience feedback was divided. On social media, there was often heated debate between fans of Bialik and those who preferred Jennings. While Jennings was largely seen as a safe choice who fit the traditional mold of a Jeopardy! Host, Bialik's style was seen as more modern and occasionally quirky. These fan preferences, paired with the pressure from producers to find a host who could maintain the integrity of the brand while appealing to newer generations, added additional strain on Bialik's position. 4. Internal politics and power struggles. Behind the scenes, Jeopardy! Is known for its intricate network of producers, executives, and staff who all have differing visions for the show's future. Some insiders suggested that there were power struggles among those pushing for different styles of hosting, especially as the show adjusted to life post-Trebek. It is rumored that certain factions of the production team favored a more traditional style of hosting, which made Bialik's approach, emotional, personable, and candid, feel like a mismatch. There were whispers about internal divisions over her performance. Some executives reportedly felt that Bialik's version of the show did not have the gravitas that Trebek carried. Additionally, some staff members were not entirely sold on the notion of splitting the hosting duties between her and Ken Jennings, given the logistical and creative challenges involved. 5. The future of Jeopardy! And the host search. After Bialik's departure, Jeopardy! Producers focused their attention on finding a permanent host who could strike the right balance between tradition and modernity. As of now, Ken Jennings remains the show's primary host, with occasional guest appearances from other individuals, although there has been speculation about who might take the job permanently. Fans of Bialik were upset by her firing, especially given the emotional connection she had built with the show's audience. Many took to social media to express their disappointment, leading to an outpouring of support for the actress. Despite her firing, Bialik thanked her fans and acknowledged that her time on Jeopardy! Was an unforgettable experience. The aftermath of Mayim Bialik's departure. Since her departure from Jeopardy!, Mayim Bialik has moved forward with other projects, including her podcast, Bialik's Breakdown, which explores psychological concepts and offers insightful commentary on everyday life. She has also continued her acting career and expressed interest in new opportunities. Her fans remain loyal, following her on social media and continuing to support her future endeavors. For Jeopardy! The decision to part ways with Bialik represents an attempt to find stability after the unpredictable years following Alex Trebek's death. Whether or not the show can regain its former luster with a single host remains to be seen, but producers have signaled that they are committed to continuing the legacy of Jeopardy! In a way that respects the past while adapting to the future.